it. What up, Sknightnation? This your boy, Stevie Knight. About to get on one of these things, you feel me? Was going to watch Night Watch, man. Night Watch, my Patreon actually put me on a little bit of a situation. You know what I'm talking about? One Terrance Howard made some claims about Petey Pablo. Apparently, I ain't seen it. I just read a little summary of what I'm about to dive into now, man. Figure it'd be interesting, thought-provoking content to cover, so let's cover it, man. Yeah, he's up on the Bill Mayer podcast or whatnot, and Petey Pablo's name is going to be brought up in this little snip here, man. I remember Petey Pablo, bro. So that's a throwback. And then, you know, bro did just disappear. You know what I'm saying? So Terrance Howard was about to discuss that right now, but before we tap in, I ain't got no drip on, but you know, cop my merch at shopstevenight.com. My book continues to be available to go with a hard copy. I think the hard copy just sold out, but you know, I gotta double check. And then my private self-development online community is called You Man Pull Up. And without further ado, let's see what T talking about today.
So funny, like my friend said to me, rappers, they're all so tough until you hear their real name.
Yeah, well, until you see them at a puffy party.
Oh.
Then they're not tough no more. I'm surprised that the rap game is still alive after, because the
Bro, that is a fucking spade. That's a fact, right? That is a fucking fact, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't speculatory at this point, bro. Bros be over there giving the butt up to be put on. You know what I'm saying? And it's either, you know, the majority are just ignorant of it, they ignore it, or they just don't care. Right? But, you know, given the fact that, or not so much today, hip hop is, you know, gay as, if you ask me, bro. You got certain types of individuals representing hip hop in the wackest form. You got Lil Nas X and all these other fucking weirdos out here rapping, making hip hop look like a fucking circus show. But that is true, bro. You know what I mean? Because hip hop portrays a certain masculinity. Not a certain like masculinity element about it, period, bro. You know what I mean? Even to go as far as homophobic vibes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it ain't gangster rap no more, but hip hop used to be gangster rap. But, you know what I'm saying? You go back in these crates, diving into these conspiracies or whatnot, all this gay shit was taking place back then. So it's more understandable for them to have it covered up back then because social media wasn't around. But, you know, social media being around now and as transparent as things can be, you know, for hip hop to still be thriving as much as it is when there's so many fucking holes in it with all this gay shit, bro. But it would make sense in 2025 because the world is gay now, bro. Don't like masculinity's under attack. Emasculation of men is all over the place. Feminist movement and all that, bro. They want men to be soft, women to be hard. So it would make sense for hip hop to look fucking weird and be weird and people not care about it no more, man. But hopefully I can only hope we can get back to it. And that's why I fight so hard for, you know, to bring manhood back, period, bro. So this ain't even this ain't an issue for the ones that, you know, are hip to the game, man. But I'll get off my soapbox for a minute. Let's continue, T.
Masculinity that the rappers are supposed to portray.
What is it with all the man-on-man action that I'm learning about? I mean, like with the puffy parties.
Control.
Like the last thing I ever thought that went on there was gay stuff. Not that gay stuff is wrong, it's wonderful. I just did not think that's what was...
Yeah, he gay, bro. He gotta be, dog. I remember he said something like that on the other video we covered with T. And he said something... It was gay as hell, bro. And only somebody that's gay would say something like that. Just like he just said some no Diddy now, bro.
I just feel like there's gay for real. And then there's a point where guys get so much pussy, they're just like, oh, fuck it.
Yeah, well, it would have been that, but
Hey, that's his name, Bill Maher. Bill Maher, he just told him himself. It's wonderful. Why would you need to utter that? Unless you gay.
Puffy was doing.
yeah, well, I didn't think it either. And even when my assistant said that stuff, I still was like joking it off. And it wasn't until later on that I heard other things from people that worked from him. You know, you remember that back in the times of slavery, they had a thing called breaking the buck, where they would take, not to go in a bad place, but this is how I see what's happening.
That's how it is, same shit.
Parallels with what's happening correlates what's happening in the business. If they, back in the times of slavery, if they had like some 12-year-old slave that was just full of himself and confident and, you know, wasn't listening, they would tie him to a log or a barrel, and a bunch of the overseers would rape him, to where when he walked around with the slaves now, he didn't have the confidence.
Sure.
He was broken.
Yeah.
And it was called breaking the buck.
Wow.
And that's still taking place. And so to hear that people in the industry are still making young rappers who have fought the worst of circumstances, being disenfranchised, being discounted, and then they finally like, I'm gonna put it into music. I'm gonna do it in the music. I'm gonna, get myself together, and they go and see someone, and they tell them, okay, yeah, you can have a deal. You know, perform fellatio on me, and you get your deal. That was what I heard while I was on Empire about some of the people in the business. And Petey Pablo, you remember Petey Pablo?
I know who that is.
Petey Pablo, talented writer, singer. Him and Young Buck wrote a song called Ho Is On. And in that song, back in about 2011 or 29 or something, because he called out all of the homosexuality taking place at those parties and those people, he was kicked out of the music business. No radio station would play his stuff. So you look for Petey Pablo, he's not around anymore. But that song, Ho It's On, they did not care. They went all in on it.
Well, you know we got to peep the song right now. That's interesting though, bro. Hold on, before I dive into the damn song, let's pull up Petey Pablo's discography, just to vet it. Even though, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna give T the benefit of the doubt, but let's just go to his discography, bro. North Carolina. Like what was the album? What was that? Freak Elite, 2003. Hold on, let me see albums. He tried to drop an album 2018. Hold on, what do you say it's called? Ho Is On? Everywhere I go, make a little beat your ass, man. Push it away. So it ain't on that one. Albums. Show All. 2009. Oh, It's On. 2004. Freaky League came out in 2003. 2001. Where's Freaky League at? Is Freaky League on 2001? My testimony. Because Freaky League was a Raise Up as a fucking one road. Okay, so it's on the same album. Freaky League, Oh It's On is on the same album. And this was his breakout album right here, right? And then after that, album 2009, I mean, he was donezo by then in 2018, yep. So, like, timeline-wise, it does make sense, bro. So I definitely got to peep that song, bro. Made me think about, what's bro name? Is it what was the rapper that got stabbed in the eye? We got to cover that. What rapper got stabbed in the eye? Houston, we gotta cover that, bro, cause he got a compelling story too, man. Cause he was popping. He had that big ass song with was it Nate Dogg? I don't know, bro. And he talked about the same shit. conspiracy why his eyes missing because he was going against the industry. We'll cover that too, man. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna dive into this, bro. T don't give a fuck. We're not gonna do it now. We'll do another video. We'll see. We'll see. If YouTube let me live, I'll post it on YouTube. But if not, you'll know where it'll be on the Patreon for the free ski. All right, let's get it.